if you decided you wanted to go back to the factory farming system, how much more money would it cost, and how much more money would you get out of it? Is it more financially beneficial to do it the way you're doing it, or more financially beneficial in a scale like the size of the scale that you're using right now? Because it seems like it would cost a lot of money to get all that stuff to feed these cows to make them fat real quick, and all the money for the hormones and all the money for all these other things, where you're just letting them roam around and eat grass, but you don't get as much weight out of them. So like, what's the tipping point?
So make no mistake, of all these inputs that the industrial model brings in, all of them are brought in to take cost out of production. You spend money for the input,
right?
But ultimately it takes cost out of production.
But like, what's the percentage? Like, how much of a percentage are you losing by doing it your way?
That is so situational. Let me give you an example. Okay. It's a great question, but I can't give you a short answer for it.
Okay.
So I would tell you that in the case of my grass-fed beef, my cost of production is probably 30% higher than the industrial model.
Wow.
And we could argue, if you told me 20 or 35, because I don't know, it's situational, but
right.
That's
somewhere
not
in the range.
That's not going to be too far off. Now let's step over to poultry. My cost for raising a chicken, a 4-pound dressed chicken in Bluffton, Georgia, and putting him in a bag is like $4.50 or 60 cents a pound. I see chicken on sale for $1.10 a pound. So my cost of production for poultry is hundreds of percent higher. And that's because the chicken lent itself to industrialization more handily than the cow did. We took more cost out of production. So when you say how much higher is it, that's like how long is a string,
Right.
But it's higher. My cost of production is higher. When you as a consumer ask me as a farmer to give up all the tools that reductionist science gave to take cost out of production, you add cost back to production. Now, I'm gonna amend that. I stand by it. I'm gonna amend it and say direct cost.
Direct cost, because long term you're destroying the soil.
The externalized cost, like destroying the soil, like losing antibiotics, like extinction of species, like the dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico, like if you believe in climate change, and I do, how much does a good hurricane cost? How much does a good 100,000 acre wildfire cost? And those externalized costs are not borne by the multinational companies or the people that incur them.
Right, they're borne by the average citizen.
By me and you and everybody else that pays taxes and gets sick.
So that's a hidden cost.
Externalized.